that was signed with all the metros and the SAPS, that we do agree that we will deal with these matters in this particular manner, in a way in we will, IPID will send the recommendations to the stakeholders. SAPS says we will initiate within 30 days. And then we will make sure that we provide you with feedback, the outcome, and all of that. And because they knew that the Act makes provision for that. And in the main, they are doing that. And then you have the Municipal Police Service, wherein they comply, they do that. But you sometimes have a concern that this application of this MOU and the terms of reference seem to choose as to where to apply. I think in this document, Commissioners, there is a part where I've made reference to a specific matter. But all that I'm saying is that with regard to other members, we see actions being taken. But then it's surprising that there are those that are seem to be immune. And you also observe some kind of political interference, if I to put it.
What does IPID do with that? I mean, and I think it speaks more to, you see, you in the earlier sections of the statement, you've told us that there is an obligation, there's a reporting obligation, and it's a criminal offense not to report. I think that if you don't comply with Section 29, I think it's...
Correct,
yes.
Commissioners.
And it's an offense, failure to comply. Now, it seems to me that nothing is done and you don't have the power to do anything about it, which means the SAPS or the MPS are free to decide. As you say, you end up with these inconsistencies. And if there's nothing that IPID can do about it, because there's no compelling mechanism where you can compel, where people could be disciplined for failing to take action in accordance with IPID, then it's defeating of what looks good on paper, which is we instruct them to comply within 30 days. But that's the end of it, because you don't have the power to do anything about it. How is that managed, and is there any plan, intention to address that? And it takes, it reminds one of that old debate about the powers of the public protector, you know, where a recommendation is made and then some people understand them to be, I can comply. If I don't comply, that's the end of the matter. No one can do anything about it. I can choose to do what I want.
Thank you, Commissioners. I think I should have responded better to this question from the beginning. As I've indicated, that with SAPS we do not have a problem at all. We know that we do have a leg to stand on as a department. They know the 30 days, and there is a consultative forum that happens every quarter with the Civilian Secretariat Act for Police, because in terms of the Secretariat Act 2 of 2011, one of their responsibilities in terms of the Act is that they need to monitor the SAPS or the SAPS on the implementation of the IPID Act. So basically the extent to which SAPS is able to implement the SAPS, the IPID recommendations referred to SAPS, but it's very silent about those that are referred to MPS. That is what would then the Commissioner asked, what are you doing? What we did with some of the cases wherein we were frustrated by the municipal police services, we then rolled through the executive director to remind the city manager that we are being frustrated here. We have referred the matter which you have received on a particular day and month and year, and you are quiet. And when there was no response in that regard, we further went in person now to meet up with the MMC and the mayor at the time to say we are frustrated here. We have sent these recommendations, but there is no feedback. We are concerned. Are you able to intervene? They promised that they will intervene, and we gave the document. There was no intervention. So then we had to go back and see, but then what would then be the next recourse? And we were actually trying to find ways, but we then later learned that, and especially after after the establishment of this commission, that we started to see the action, and a serious one for that matter. And even some of the lies started coming out. Our names were dropped and all of that, with all the lies that no. But we have informed, especially myself. There was a document that was on the media saying that I have received a document. But I have reliably been informed that actually that was just another fraud that was committed within a particular of that in that specific municipality.
So that's fine. You do escalate to the political principles with municipalities.
Yes.
I think that's the kind of answer I was looking for.
Okay, thank you.
But maybe lastly, have you given thought to whether it should not be made an offense to fail to comply with the recommendations of the IPID to institute disciplinary proceedings? Has there been that kind of discussion, and would it be something that you would consider as useful and helpful to give effect to the recommendations of the IPID? And here I'm thinking, and if, for example, you direct your recommendation, you would direct the recommendation, as you say here, to the city manager or the executive municipal manager, I think that's what they would be called. So that's who you direct to make sure that there is compliance with your recommendation. And then you back that up with a stick, which says if that is not implemented, the law makes it an offense to fail to abide the recommendation. Have you considered that as IPID, and is it something that you would give consideration to?
Thanks, Commissioners. Commissioners, that process has already unfolded. Following all those challenges, and of course with some, the IPID Amendment Act 15 of 24 has been considered, and at this stage, the proclamation has been made partly by the President, with the remaining 5 clauses that needs to be proclaimed. And currently, the gazetting of the regulations is at advanced stage, and upon the conclusion of such, we would then be able to have subverted or circumvented this problem, because now it is very clear in the law that the municipal manager now will take the responsibility of accounting to the implementation of these disciplinary recommendations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Keefelakae, perhaps let's just take it a step further. And in relation to your paragraph 10.1.1, the 30-day period within which SAPS must implement the engagement you had with Commissioner Baloyi, I don't think I understood your answer. Is that directive binding on SAPS, firstly, to your understanding? And what would be the consequences? I appreciate the fact that you say that you don't get challenges with SAPS insofar as compliance is concerned. But in the event that SAPS were to fail to comply with what you have set out in 10.1.1, what would be the consequences, do you know, for SAPS?
Thanks, Commissioners. In terms of SAPS, the law, it's very clear that non-compliance would lead to cases being opened. And however, the initiation within 30 days is managed carefully between SAPS and IPID, and there are monthly meetings that are taking place even in provinces wherein recommendations are being discussed. And that meeting is chaired by the Civilian Secretariat for Police Service, and we are able to track progress on each and every case.
Yes, my question is, but you're saying that the Act provides that non-compliance would attract adverse consequences for SAPS.
Yes.
That is how the law provides.
That's how the law provides,
okay.
Commissioners. Yeah.
Now, the Amendment Act you reference at paragraph 13, as we have understood the evidence thus far, IPID in terms of the 2011 Act does not have power and authority over municipal police services. The old Act as it stood, 2011. That IPID assumed power over MPS through the MOU that was signed.
That's true, Commissioners.
And as we understand it, that Amendment Act of 2024 seeks to legislate precisely what is currently managed in terms of the MOU.
That's correct.
Now, what's your understanding, or two questions for me, that Amendment Act, would it extend the consequences for non-compliance to the municipal manager, same as they would apply to SAPS?
Precisely.
And secondly, our understanding was that that Amendment Act has come into force in part. Some parts are yet to come into force. Specifically as regards this issue, do you know whether the Act has come into force?
Not yet, Commissioners. Is those areas that are being dealt with currently to try and expedite the regulations.
Okay.
They've been published. At the moment, we envisage, Commissioners, that perhaps by Q2, which is August, thereabouts, we should be ready. By then, we believe that all the processes would have unfolded, and the implementation of this Amendment Act would have kicked in. Thank you.
Yes, Chair.
Thank you. I have a related but slightly different issue. Say a recommendation is made for disciplinary proceedings to be initiated. And say SAPS or indeed the MPS is not reluctant to act in accordance with the recommendation, but that when they look closely at the matter, they themselves are not satisfied that there is a case to discipline the person concerned. I would assume that it should be open to them to say there is no case here. I'm asking this in the light of 10.1.1 that says SAPS must, the operative word here being must, initiate disciplinary proceedings within 30 days. So would it be perfectly within their remit to say there is no case for disciplining this person here? And if that would be open to them to say so, how must we read the must in your 10.1.1?
Okay, thanks, Commissioner.
I hope I'm making sense.
You do, Commissioner, and I'll respond to that. I understood the question. Yeah, the 30 days is for initiation. Initiation, which then means they should have appointed the functionary, the investigator, and so on and so on. That's the 30 days to do all of that. And then they need to then say to us, now we have appointed this investigator, he's dealing with this matter. So they can't come to us within 30 days and say, we don't see the case here, there is no case, because we would have investigated and made negative recommendations as opposed to positive recommendations. And I want to point out something, that there are two types of recommendations: the positive recommendations and the negative recommendations. And the word negative, I think it explains itself. It means bad, it means red. So the positive means we have investigated this matter thoroughly. And after investigating this matter, we have found out that there is nothing wrong on the part of the police. And I want to say that in majority of our cases that we complete, we establish or we uncover that the police would have acted within the limits of the law. But then you would find in a few of those cases where then we would find that indeed there is substance, there is a case to answer. But 30 days is for initiation.
Also, the answer turns on an interpretation of initiate.
Okay, yes.
Thank you.
Did you want to do
Yeah, please, Commissioner. Go ahead.
Yes. Was that once you've given this directive recommendation, what it means is the employer, SAPS or MPS, they don't have an option. They must now appoint a chairperson to run a disciplinary hearing. Is that a correct understanding?
Chairperson, it's supposed to be like that. However, there is this other challenge that exists, although it's not as big, but it has been raised with the Secretariat for Police as the people that are responsible to review these policies for our cluster or the ministry. Now, we do experience some challenges wherein we generate we investigate. IPID investigate thoroughly and make recommendations that disciplinary steps must be taken. But SAPS, they've got their own disciplinary regulations of 2017. That requires of the person who is appointed as an investigator. Then they would then reinvestigate the matter that has already been investigated by IPID. That is the practice. And IPID has raised some concerns with regard to that, and hence the process to then review the disciplinary regulations of the SAPS. The challenge with that is that a person who is just a cleaner wherever who saw whatever occurred on a day in question when the crime was committed by the police and all of that, he's so confident that this matter is dealt with by IPID, and all of a sudden there is a man in blue uniform coming to say, I want your statement. This person now starts to ask, but now what's happening? So that's where now you realize that we start having these recalcitrant witnesses, because now they feel threatened. And if it's a foreigner, you won't see him again. He will flee the country because he has lost the confidence. I mean, SAPS has lost the confidence of this person because of the actions that this person have seen. And now you send another SAPS members, but as far as the person is concerned, he knows that the matter is sitting with IPID. So those are the challenges that we are actually working on. The process has already unfolded, and I believe that that would be the remedy for this problem.
Thank you, Commissioner. Still staying with paragraph 10.1.1, and I would like you to consider my question in the context of SAPS. Let's keep MPS out for the moment. The report that must then be filed to the Minister and the Secretary of Police and IPID, what does that report traditionally contain? What does it speak to? Does it speak to initiation? Does it speak to outcome of a process? What does it traditionally speak to, that report?
The Section 7 report would contain the statistical data on the number of cases that would have been initiated on a particular period, the number of...
apologies, Mr. Keefelakae. Please have regard to paragraph 10.1.1. You state the SAPS must initiate disciplinary proceedings within 30 days and report to the Minister. I take it that the report is in relation to the referral.
Yes,
now,
that's
it's
correct.
that particular report, not the general reporting that is done to the Minister. In terms of Section 7 of IPID Act, the report that is then filed with the Minister and the Secretary of Police after the initiation of the disciplinary proceedings, what does it normally deal with, that report, if you are aware? Thanks.
Yes, I'm aware. Hence, I'm saying it is the kind of report wherein it would contain the statistical data of the initiations that would have happened in the SAPS in a particular period, as well as in the MPS. It would give the breakdown of statistical data